The more invisible I become, the more death I have to endure. As Hai Siyuan knelt down, he said, "We have defended for 40 years until today, with over 200 remaining soldiers and several hundred women, children, and elderly still in the city. In these 40 years, there have been those who died in battle, but no slaves who bowed their heads. We did not disgrace the spine of the 9 provinces, nor fail the imperial grace of Great Yan. Today's return to court without official notice is a measure of last resort. Please, Your Majesty, forgive this subject's offense." The Western Expeditionary Army commander, on behalf of General Li Changge, returns the tiger talisman. Emperor Yonghe looked at the tiger talisman and said, "My Great Yan truly has loyal soldiers." He took it and added, "Commander Hai, please elaborate on everything that happened during these 40 years. Hai Siyuan explained that the 100,000 soldiers were shielded by a formation set up by the Great Path sect cultivators to aid their disciples in practicing spells. For many years, they fought to the death against the immortal sect's undead soldiers to protect the people of Lone City. He further explained how the Qiao family hero, to comfort the troops, falsely claimed that there was an immortal slaying army, and also spoke of the various evil deeds of Qingzhuo's massacre. Finally, Hero Qiao, the Sword Immortal, and the Western Expeditionary Army became united in mind and spirit, and ultimately slew the immortal. A lord interjected, "Slew the immortal? Don't speak nonsense. This matter concerns the reputation of the immortal sect and is of great importance. Commander Hai, even if you are Minister Hai's son, you should know the seriousness of this matter." Hai Siyuan replied, "What does Lord mean by this? Could it be that you suspect me of slandering the Great Path sect?" He turned to Emperor Yonghe and called out, "Your Majesty!" But Emperor Yonghe looked away. Hai Siyuan froze in shock. Inwardly, he said to himself, "General Li, Hai Siyuan has failed your trust. Lone City still stands, but the nation is no longer a nation." Prime Minister Zhang spoke up. "You just said a member of the Qiao family killed an immortal from the Great Path sect. Is this member of the Qiao family a martial artist? How could a martial artist kill an immortal? Do you not know that even the martial saint died under the heavenly lightning of the immortal sect?" Hai Siyuan's eyes widened. "What did you say?" "General Wu." "General Wu is dead," Prime Minister Zhang continued. "It is indeed not easy for you to have defended for 40 years. I, the Prime Minister, also admire you greatly. Minister, the Qiao family's martial artist may have done you a favor, but this matter of slaying an immortal is truly absurd. The 9 great immortal sects have protected our dynasty, bringing favorable weather and smooth relations for as long as 40 years. Why bring up those past matters again? Your fictional tale about a martial artist killing an immortal is slander against His Majesty for tolerating martial artists who oppose the immortals. If the immortal sects believe your rumors and war breaks out again in the 9 provinces, what crime should you be charged with? Enough. People died 40 years ago." Hai Siyuan clenched his teeth in anger. "So that's how it is. Haha, it turns out there were never any reinforcements from the start. The lives of 100,000 brothers are truly worthless." His laughter was choked with grief. Prime Minister Zhang barked, "How can you use filthy language in court? How presumptuous." Emperor Yonghe thought to himself, "In today's 9 provinces, loyal and righteous individuals are extremely precious. We also know we cannot discourage these old soldiers before us. But to point fingers and attack the Great Path sect that occupies Zhongzhou, the trouble would be immense. The only solution now is to break our teeth and swallow it with our own blood." Qiao Mu's voice rang out. "The robber has already kicked down your door once. Did they reason with you? Do you think that if you have a good attitude and serve him nicely, he won't rob you again? What a joke." The lords turned their heads in surprise. A servant shouted, "How dare you? Who dares to trespass into the court meeting? Guards!" Suddenly, flying fish guard Chu Xing came hurtling through the air, kicked hard by Qiao Mu. He slammed into Prime Minister Zhang, who cried out in pain, "Ugh!" Qiao Mu strode into the hall and declared, "Qiao Shui of the Qiao family has come to mourn for Lone City." Emperor Yonghe stood and commanded, "Quickly capture him." Qiao Mu sneered, "Get lost, all of you. I don't fight with dogs." The Lord said, Is he the member of the Qiao family who is being talked about in the capital? How audacious to dare cause trouble at the court meeting. 80% chance Minister Hai brought him in. Isn't this making His Majesty look bad in public? These few people will definitely not make it out today." Qiao Mu said. "The remaining troops of Lone City defended for 40 years without kneeling or surrendering, yet you have repeatedly dodged and are unwilling to become enemies with the immortal sects. In today's court of Great Yan, how many people still have the heart to resist? As Chao Mu walked closer to Emperor Yongge, he said, "My uncle, Xiao Shuangxin, entered Lone City. The elderly and disabled half of the city asked when reinforcements would arrive. This was a question that should have been answered by you, not by a son of my Chao family. Look at this history of Angxi City." Chao Mu threw the book at Emperor Yongge's face. Emperor Yongge, shocked, held his face in frustration and said, "You," he thought to himself, "kill him. I want to kill him." Chao Mu looked back and said, "Today, on behalf of the elderly and disabled in the city, I ask a question. Are you ashamed of your titles?" Prime Minister Zhang and the other lords were shocked. Prime Minister Zhang said, "Minister Hai, who did you bring into the imperial palace? His Majesty is the supreme ruler, and this evil villain deserves 10,000 deaths. Crude martial artist, what qualifications do you have to discuss right and wrong, merits and faults with us here? How would you understand national affairs? How would you understand His Majesty's difficulties?" The Lord said, "That's right." Prime Minister Zhang continued to shout at Chao Mu. Emperor Yongke grew angry and gritted his teeth. He trembled and thought to himself, "I'll confiscate his entire family's property and exterminate his 9 generations." Suddenly, the human king's sword began to glow. Emperor Yongge noticed it and thought, "Unto human king's sword is glowing? After Qingyun Temple, it's glowing again. Why?" Clearly, ever since the king of Qin was granted his territory, the human king's sword's radiance has been dwindling. No matter how hard we tried to handle state affairs, it did not react. Why did it choose to light up only when a member of the Chao family is present? The will of the people, national destiny, and fate, they are closely linked. Is the human king's sword acknowledging his actions? Is it reminding us that he is right? And he drew the sword and raised it. Emperor Yongke said, "We are ashamed of ourselves." The lords bowed and said, "Your Majesty." Emperor Yongke said, "A son of the Qiao family sacrificed himself in the great desert to save Lone City. He was a man of great courage. We only hate that the immortal sects are so deceitful, hiding the truth from us for a full 40 years, hiding it from the entire Great Yan for 40 years. The Lord said, "Your Majesty is humble and magnanimous. We subjects deserve to die for failing to share your burdens." Chao Mu said, "A bit greasy. Don't miss the point. The members of my Chao family are nothing. The point is the 100,000 soldiers." Hai Siyuan said, "Hero Chao." Tears flowed from his eyes. Emperor Yongge said, "You are right. Great Yan is ashamed before the old soldiers who defended for 40 years. Hai Siyuan, you have merit in leading the lone army in defense. I appoint you as a 3rd-ranked return general. The remaining 200-plus officers and soldiers will all be promoted by 5 ranks. Chao Mu said, "Suddenly appointing 300 elderly military officers is clearly just for show, with no real power. What use is that? Stop all this fakery. Those who survive countless battles should return home in glory. Who values your worthless official post?" Emperor Yongke said, "In that case, military merits and rewards will be discussed separately. All survivors may be rewarded with gold, silver, land, and property. The 40 years of blood and tears of Lone City in the Great Desert will be recorded by historians, their names recorded in history, and proclaimed to the world." He trembled in frustration. Hai Siyuan said, "I, Hai Siyuan, on behalf of the 300-plus brothers in arms, thank His Majesty for His great grace." He thought to himself, "The dead will have their names recorded in history. The living will be promoted by 5 ranks and rewarded with gold and silver. This is the reputation that was fought for by Hero Chao." Chao Mu said, "The arrangements for the living have been made. The families of Lone City's heroes and martyrs can't be forgotten, right? Give a bit more." Emperor Yongge stood up and said, "I've tolerated you again and again for the sake of you being from the Chao family. Don't go too far. You." A servant restrained Emperor Yongke. Chao Mu said, 500 taels per family, plus posthumous military ranks. I've made notes in that city history book. Just take a look and issue the decree. Also, remember to properly settle the women, children, elderly, and disabled who came out of Lone City. Find some reliable people." Hai Siyuan said to himself, "Now, the only people we need to thank are the members of the Chao family." A few moments later, Sister Shu came out and said, "Emperor Yongke rewarded 5,000 taels of gold as compensation?" She could almost feel the gold near her. Chao Mu said suddenly, "The thought of retiring now, buying a house in the suburbs and living out old age doesn't seem so bad. But this dog emperor is really annoying. The great Yan dynasty is doomed in his hands." Chao Mu sat on the gold. Sister Shui said, "Great Yan's national fate is not yet over. At least for now, I have not seen the end." Chao Mu said, "Speaking of which, I have not heard Sister Shui talk about it properly. What kind of ability do your eyes have?" How did you find me? Sister Su said, this is a long story. Ted Qingluan Peak, Taoist Temple, Nanzhou. As Sister Shu walked silently, feeling the wind, an older sister said, what is wrong with our junior sister lately? She has been unhappy and often zones out. Another older sister replied, it might not be just zoning out. Did not Master say that even if junior sister closed her eyes and slept, she could achieve enlightenment as soon as she woke up? A sister who was sweeping said, yesterday, junior sister stumbled in the courtyard, and when she opened her eyes she was already at the 4th level of Qi refining. She is truly a born Tao cultivator. One day of her cultivation is worth 10 years of hard work for others. Sister Su said to herself, I originally intended to wait until I mastered my divine skills before personally killing the martial saint to get revenge. But now, the martial saint is dead. Then what was the point of my devotion to Tao cultivation? Elder Ling Ling said, now that your great revenge is accomplished, you should go pursue your own Tao. Sister Shu thought, my Tao. What is it? As the other beautiful sisters looked at Sister Shu, one of them said, she looks depressed. Is her cultivation stuck? Another said, junior sister's talent must not be wasted. Our sect is depending on her. Another added, how about we take her down the mountain for a walk and find some inspiration? A few moments later, an older sister said, junior sister, the essence of cultivation is to go against heaven. Therefore, one must see through heaven's will. Junior sister, can you see what heaven's will is this time? Sister Shu hesitated. It is a bit blurry. It should be big. The older sister slammed the table and said, bet on big. Open it quickly. People around said, this girl is amazing. Whatever she says happens. Yes, she has won 6 rounds in a row. Really? Then I will bet on big too. The dealer opened the cup and said, 4, 5, 6, it's big. The older sister grinned happily. Yes, junior sister truly has innate wisdom. You were born with divine eyes, but you need to learn to control them. These dice are small targets, perfect for training. Keep it safe. This is all our offering money. Sister Shu asked, senior sister, is this right? The older sister said, trust me, no problem. Good. Junior sister, what did you see this time? Sister Shu said, I saw senior sister, please protect your face. Another senior sister suddenly kicked the older sister with a flying kick. Puff! She pulled Sister Shu away and said, senior sister, even if you want to help junior sister train her eyes of the past and future, you cannot use these poisonous things. If anything goes wrong, will you not lose both people and money? The older sister said, I know, I was wrong. Sister Shu thought to herself, is the focus on the last sentence? The second sister said, a cultivator should remain pure and cleanse the world of filthy qi. Your talent should be used to eliminate harm for the people and work for their well-being. Sister Shu said, yes, second sister. The other sister gave them a thumbs up. And a few moments later, at a fortune teller's stall, an ugly lady said, Master, immortal, my man is cheating on me. Please tell me, where's that cheating husband and that slut? She slammed the table with her ogre-like hands. Sister Shu said, they are at... Second sister quickly interrupted. Oh my. As the saying goes, even an honest official can hardly settle a family dispute. If you ask the master to see through heavenly secrets of this level, the master will suffer cultivation loss. The ugly lady said, take it all. This old woman must know where they are today. Second sister caught the bag of money and blushed. Sister Sue said, go to the end of the alley at the second watch tonight. It is the house with chickens at the entrance. The ugly lady said, thank you, master. Suddenly, a fireball flew toward them and struck the table. Sister Shu shouted, third junior sister. Who injured you? Third junior sister said, damn it. It was a cultivator at the 3rd level of Qi refining, and he said, how dare a mere rogue cultivator interfere in the affairs of my Xuantian sect? Third junior sister stood up and said, bah! For the sake of cultivating the path of incense and wish power, even mountain bandits and brigands receive the protection of the Xuantian sect as long as they offer tributes. You simply are not worthy of being human. The cultivator at the 3rd level of Qi refining attacked and said, it is because of your stubbornness in ancient cultivation methods that you have reached a point where you have few followers and resort to deception and trickery. Even if you cultivate for 180 years, you still cannot compare to 1 year's power from our path of incense, the law of the jungle. You, a first-stage Qi refiner, are teaching me how to do things. Hilarious. He then shot multiple fireballs at the sisters. Third sister said, damn it, I just used up all my strength to protect the surrounding people. Sister Shu suddenly jumped forward and was about to be hit by the fireballs. Second sister cried out, junior sister? Sister Shu opened her eyes and said, is that so? The flames instantly extinguished. The cultivator at the third level of Chi refining looked shocked and said, "How could she disperse the bone-eating flame so easily?" Second sister exclaimed, "Junior sister." This, she broke through again. Sister Shu raised her finger and said, "I see it. The Death Star above your head is already lit." Her eyes focused on the cultivator at the third level of Chi refining. That cultivator said, "Those eyes are not right. I feel something drilling into my mind. I must get out of here." He immediately beamed away. The senior sister said, "Junior sister, you're so amazing. Congratulations on breaking through again." Sister Shu, sweating, said, "I probably broke through thanks to my senior sister's guidance." Third sister laughed. Good, good." Second sister thought to herself, "No, it's just because you are a genius, but whatever." She then hugged Sister Shu and said, "Junior sister, have your internal emotions been relieved a bit?" Third sister said, "The future of our sect depends on you." Sister Shu replied, Thank you, three senior sisters." She then thought of Chao Mu and said to herself, "Since I no longer have revenge to seek, why not go find him?" The story of the Chao family has already spread widely. Although I don't know what he looks like now, if I can be like him and cleanse the world of injustices, even one or two, it won't have been for nothing. Sister Sue said, "Senior sister, I'm going to report to Master and travel down the mountain." The sisters looked confused. Eh? Sister Shu thought to herself, "First, set a small goal, find him. If I can protect his Tao in the future, it will be considered the fulfillment of a worldly fate." In the present, Sister Shu opened her eyes as Chao Mu looked closely into her beautiful eyes. Chao Mu said, "So that's how it is." Sister Shue's eyes can see the past and future and even see into people's hearts? Sister Shu replied, "Don't stare too much." Chao Mu said, "I'm just curious. This eye technique is so heaven-defying. If it's used for solving cases or doing business, won't you be winning every time?" Sister Shu answered, "It's not always possible. There are existences I cannot see. Whether I can see clearly depends on what is currently within my range of sight and whether heaven's secrets are willing to reveal themselves to me." Chao Mu said, "Hey, Sister Shui, can you see what kind of collusion exists between the Great Tao Sect and the Martial Arts Alliance?" Sister Shu replied, "Oh right, I can try. Don't move." She touched Chao Mu's face and looked closely at him. She saw visions of Chao Mu's memory. Sister Shui suddenly closed her eyes in shock. Chao Mu asked, "How is it? What did you see?" Sister Shui, sweating, said, "I didn't directly see related people, so I can't determine what they are doing. But in the future, you will clash with someone from the Martial Arts Alliance. That person seems to be the King of Qin. Also in the future, the 9 provinces seem to be starting conflict again, and it should also be related to them." Chao Mu said, "The 9 provinces will face war again. Emperor Yongkei's continuous retreat is just handing a knife to others." Speaking of which, senior sister, don't you suspect that I was the one who incited the war? Sister So replied, "You are Chao Mu. I believe you won't do anything against the law." Chao Mu cleared his throat. Ha. He thought to himself, in my previous life, no one had ever stood by me so firmly. Sister Shu smiled and asked, "What are your plans for the future? You have practiced the strength refining chapter of the longevity fist to perfection and the spirit refining chapter. You now have the Mount Sumeru King scripture. Do you still need it? Are you still seeking immortality?" Chao Mu said, "Yes, I am. The experiences of the past few months feel incredible. There are too many injustices in this world. To live freely in this world, there are still many things to do. I'm still far from it. But before that, I have one more thing to do." Sister Sue asked in confusion, "What?" Chao Mu said, "Someone who has been kind to me was probably taken away by the Great Tao Sect. I need to bring him back." He thought to himself, although slaying immortals was mentioned in the imperial court, Hai Siwan and the others did not find Qing Zhuo's body or the sword immortal. Most likely, Qing Zhuo used some trick to fake death and escaped, taking Lu Yanan with him. Tisk! That damn old geezer, even in death he's still plotting against Lu Yanan. Sister Shu asked, "Are you sure the sword immortal is in the Great Tao Sect?" "I couldn't see it just now, so I'm not sure." Chao Mu said, "It doesn't matter. This time, I won't be reckless. I also want to figure out the purpose of the Great Tao Sect colluding with the Martial Arts Alliance. I'll just take them down from the root. If I can't see, I'll listen. Tomorrow, let's go to the Ting Chao Pavilion territory." Thank you so much for watching. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to help me grow my channel. Your support means the world to me. Don't forget to leave a comment below. I love hearing from you. Let's keep the conversation going and get those analytics buzzing. Until next time, take care.